Start your day with all the news, weather, and sports you need, interesting interviews, and friendly conversation from two guys that go together like Scooby and Shaggy. Mike Will and Tyson Havronic.
Well, here we go again. It's a Tuesday morning, the 14th day of January for 2025. Mike Will, Tyson Havronic, ready to start your day the right way with all of your news, weather, and sports. Friendly conversation here on Huddle Up as we get you up and get you going for another day. Going to be talking about the AP college basketball ratings for both the men and women this morning. The Nebraska baseball team will open the season ranked in the top 25 as the Huskers get ready to start another season next month. The softball team likewise ranked in the nation's top 25. Hastings College basketball teams preparing for their date tomorrow night with the Doane University Tigers at Lynn Farrell Arena. Got some high school basketball coming up tonight. NFL playoffs last night, so a lot going on. A lot of coaching talk here today as we welcome in Tyson Havronic from the Western Studios. Good morning, sir.
And a good morning to you, Mike. On the news front, it's a good thing this is a long legislative session that's going to roll on into June 9th because there's a lot going on. We have a lot of bills that are getting introduced. Yesterday was the joint press conference with the Attorney General as well as the governor as they've introduced their legislative package. In total, around 5 bills, all centering around social media usage, cell phone usage in schools, and social media apps that use targeted advertising. So a lot of question marks on whether or not we can even, first of all, pass these bills, but let alone whether they're legal or not. So you got the Attorney General hampering down on some social media usage. Be very, very interesting to certainly listen to debate as these bills get introduced. But that's happening on the news front, like you mentioned. I'm all smiles over here. Baseball and softball for the University of Nebraska, both ranked in the top 25, and in the only downside, the only bummer last night, the Monday Night Football NFL game, as you go 4-1 this week on the Blazing 5. The Rams win. That ends up setting me back to a 3-2 mark, where I have been just the model of consistency the last 7 weeks. I think I've gone 3-2, like 7 straight weeks in a row. Updated standings, you're inching a little bit closer. You're inching a little bit closer to the leader.
Yeah, I've got, let's see, 4-1 last week. I'm now 50, 44-1.
Nice and done.
You picked up 3 wins, so you've got 53 wins. 53
wins
wins.
ahead?
Yeah, you're 3 wins ahead of me for the year. 42 losses, a tie.
Time winding down.
We're gonna pick everything this weekend.
Yep,
so
it's the full gamut this weekend.
We'll have all 4 NFL games and the national championship game on Monday. So we'll pick all 5 games this week for our Blazing 5. Won't be able to ease out of any of them. We'll have to take all 5. We'll have to beat it head on.
Mm-hmm. And I think that's where you do your best work.
Yeah, I'm 8-2 the last 2 weeks, and because we don't have a lot of games to choose from, I'm really zeroed in. I'm really zeroed in on my Blazing 5 picks, and I've caught fire here at the end of the season. So I'm 8-2 the last 2 weeks going into the Blazing 5. We'll have that on we can do it on Friday this week as usual.
Friday, 7:30.
So we can do that on Friday because the NFL will get started again this weekend. The schedule, by the way, is now complete for the weekend. The first game on Saturday, Kansas City playing the Texans at 3:30, followed by Detroit against Washington at 7. So the two teams who had the top seed and the byes last week will come right out of the gate on the Saturday and play. Then on Sunday, it'll be the Rams playing at Philadelphia, followed by Baltimore and Buffalo. That'll be the second game at 5:30. And, of course, the winners all play in the conference championship games the following week, and then it's Super Bowl time.
You know what I'm excited for, though, is this weekend. This weekend there is no longer any games on a streaming service for the NFL. kudos to that. I don't know whoever had that brilliant, bright idea to put the Steelers and Ravens game on Prime TV, the streaming service, for a playoff game. I understand regular season games. That's fine. You want to have a few NFL games during the regular season, go on Prime, knock yourself out. You can't put the playoffs. That's where you make your dough.
No, they make a lot of money on the streaming as well. That's why they're doing it. Weren't the Chiefs? The Chiefs were on a streaming service last year for a playoff game.
Were they?
Yeah, that's where everything got started because they're making oodles and boodles of cash with the streaming services because everybody has got to sign up. NFL gets a chunk of that. Yeah, you're going to see more and more of that in all sports. I think you probably haven't been following it, but it's going on with NASCAR right now. NASCAR is moving a lot of their races to streaming services. You're going to see that more and more.
The entire MLS, all of the MLS games are Apple TV.
Really?
They moved everything from MLS. You used to be able to watch on at least one game of the week on ESPN. They typically had it in like doubleheader fashion. No more of that. They've moved everything over to Apple TV. So Major League Soccer has gone that route, and I know that the Premier League has gone primarily to Peacock. And but at some point, it's like,
I know you're a consumer though. You're a disgruntled consumer, but that's the way. That's the way the sports broadcasting business is going to be. That's why we have this here because we had a vision several years ago on the radio side that that's the way this business is going to go, and it certainly has in the radio business. That's why we're here, and the TV is following it too. TV is following it, so I would say maybe in 5 years, 5 to 7 years, that everything sports-wise is going to be on a streaming service one way or another.
I don't doubt it, but here's what pisses me off about it is if you're going to put all the sports on a streaming service, put all the sports on a streaming service for sports. You know, if I'm going to buy something, if I'm going to purchase something, if I'm going to use money, because I felt like a genius 5 years ago. 5 years ago, I cut the cord to cable, never looked back, thought it was the greatest thing in the world, right?
Right.
Well, now, because, and they share the pie so equally, all these sports, they divvy off some to Apple, divvy off some to Peacock, they divvy off some to, so you have to have all the streaming services to get all the games.
Well, even watching Nebraska this year, Nebraska football.
Yeah, that was like following the bouncing ball, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. They were all over. And I've talked to some people that spent so much money this fall just watching Nebraska football because you had to be on this and then you had to be on this. No, not one streaming service has it all. So you buy this one for a month and then you forget to cancel, and then you got to pay for it for another month. But wait a minute, now the Huskers are playing over here, so you got to buy this service. I understand that.
My bills for my streaming services are more than my bill for cable originally.
So now what are you saying?
Well, but now, I mean, I can't go back to cable because then there would be like no sports and I would have to still have all the streaming services and it would be just a total mess. I'm happy where I'm at, but at the same time, like, we did this as like a cost-saving measure and a FU to the man, and then they turned around and were like, okay, well, we'll see you all cutting cords and we'll raise you.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just feels like I'm paying more now.
You are.
I am, without a doubt.
You are.
And again, I don't mind it. I understand it. I understand the business side of things, but
I
want like a la carte sports.
Yeah, you're a sports fan, so you're going to go ahead and buy a package here and buy a package here.
Yeah, you're not going to.
That's what they want you to do.
I'm a sports fan and I'm a forgetful sports fan.
Yeah.
So then I forget to cancel everything.
Well, that's what I said. You'll pay for it for a couple of months and then say, why am I still on this? I'm not even watching this anymore. I have nothing to watch on that streaming service. But you ended up paying for 2 or 3 months when you just wanted to watch the Husker game.
It's a brilliant marketing plan.
Yeah.
I get it.
So get used to it.
Right there.
Yeah, get used to it. Your Rams winning last night over Minnesota. I thought the Vikings looked.
My Rams.
No, you don't like the Rams.
I hate the Rams.
You hate the Rams.
I hate everything to do with the Rams.
Except they won last night over your Minnesota Vikings. Minnesota, they looked awful last night.
Yeah.
Sam Darnold.
Come out of the gate.
Sam Darnold. What's his future? He's not going to stay at Minnesota, is he?
I can't see it. But
who's going to pick him up?
I don't know.
He was awful last night. He couldn't even complete the stuff that you see quarterbacks complete all the time. I think they were talking about, Troy Aikman was talking about those little swing passes coming out of the backfield. He was nowhere close to half of those. Sam Darnold, he's not the answer to anything.
There was a big buildup for Minnesota, like going into that game, and I didn't see it. And I felt kind of like it was very similar to Oregon, where you knew, I think in the first 5 minutes, that this wasn't going to go well. I knew in the first 5 minutes that it wasn't going to go well for Minnesota. LA kind of just pressed the gas pedal down, and they didn't look back. And
didn't they score on the first possession? Took it right down the field.
Right down the field.
I thought, oh
right down
boy.
the throat. And I'm like, okay.
Oh
this
boy.
This is not going to go well. So Minnesota's out. LA moves on.
So look at Minnesota.
Yeah.
Look at Minnesota. They were
Need a
rolling
quarterback.
along through the regular season. They had a chance to play for the number one seed.
Mm-hmm.
They lost that to Detroit when they lost to the Lions in Week 18.
Their last two outings were awful.
And then they go into the playoffs, and they get smoked by the Rams last night. So you had a team that potentially they were talking about maybe taking a trip to the Super Bowl this year as the number one seed in the NFC, and they end up a 13-win team that was ousted in the first round of the playoffs in the wild card round. That's got to be a kick in the butt there for Minnesota, doesn't it?
Yeah, and just the way they went out, like with nothing. It was not even a flicker, because they got dominated by Detroit in the Week 18 matchup. They got dominated by LA in the wild card round, and they really didn't look. They didn't look up for the fight.
No, they looked horrible.
And there's going to be maybe like the magic of Sam Darnold wears off a little bit, and he just
Goes away.
ran its course, and
Sam Darnold just go away.
I can't see him returning next
No.
year as the starting quarterback. I think Minnesota drafts young, drafts for the future. I think it'll be a very interesting draft, especially now with the news coming out of Dallas.
What? Let's talk about that.
That's got to be your top story, right?
Mike McCarthy and Jerry Jones have been meeting for the last week because his contract officially was up a week ago last Wednesday.
Yep.
Yeah, so they've been talking for a week now, and all of a sudden yesterday it comes out right after our show was completed that Mike McCarthy is out. They reached a mutual agreement that they're heading in the wrong direction. The two sides are heading in the wrong direction, so McCarthy is out. He had a good record, 49-35 in his 5 seasons as a head coach of the Cowboys, but he won just one playoff game while suffering those devastating home losses in the wild card round to San Francisco in 2021 and Green Bay in 2023. They didn't make the playoffs this year. So McCarthy is out. He's expected to immediately interview for the head coaching jobs of both Chicago and New Orleans. Guess who the Cowboys are talking to?
You got to talk to Prime.
Why?
If you're
Why?
Dallas-
Why? Yeah, you're Dallas.
If you're Dallas, you're talking to Prime.
Deion Sanders.
Not because Prime is going to or has shown anything in the college game at Colorado in Division I football. In big boy football, he hasn't shown that he's got teams that could win. He's got teams that are flashy, that grab all the headlines. And if you're Jerry Jones and you're Dallas, you're looking at Prime as the premier moneymaker for the Dallas Cowboys.
Oh, I was talking to the bookkeeper about that this morning. She knows absolutely nothing about football, but she said, "Oh, he's a great fit for Dallas." And I think she's right for 2 years. For 2 years, and then all that luster is going to be off. Jerry Jones is into winning.
Oh,
Jerry
without a
Jones is
doubt.
into winning. Yeah, Deion can come there and he's going to grab the headlines like he did at Colorado.
Yep.
But he's not going to take Dallas to the promised land.
Every game would be game of the week. It would be can't miss TV.
Oh, yeah.
eyeballs once again on Dallas because they fluttered. And that's where they've been successful.
Well, look what
but they
ESPN.
haven't- Yeah.
Look what ESPN did when Deion was out in Colorado.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
every week.
it was a circus.
Yeah, every week it was on a major network or ESPN that Colorado was on. All of a sudden, just because Deion was out there.
Yeah.
So
without a doubt.
it'll be Dallas on every single week again, in the primetime game.
And the other thing is Dallas has the opportunity where they are at currently in the draft to do the one thing that Dion has said that he would take an NFL job to do, and that's draft his son and go coach his son Shedeur again. Dallas has the opportunity and the leverage to move up in the draft and go grab Shedeur if they want to.
I can see that happening if they get Dion.
It's a two for one deal.
Yep.
And I think like the timing and as we kind of unfolded the week, the first report was that Dion had a lingering interest in the Raiders job, which I felt Vegas would be a great spot to land Dion, to have all eyeballs at, and to bring people into Vegas. And that was certainly a marketable.
What happens?
I think there's two jobs.
What happens?
Jobs that Dion can get.
What happens if that happens?
Dion in Vegas or Dion in Dallas? Or
Dion in Vegas.
The same thing with Dallas.
I know, but what's the Dallas people going to think?
Trader.
Yeah.
They'd burn 21 jerseys all over the place.
And he'll do the same thing in Vegas. He'll try to get his son in there. Mm-hmm. That'll be a circus.
Vegas has the opportunity to get Travis Hunter, but I don't think anybody would take him if you get Prime. I think it's a 2-for-1 deal. I think you got to take Shedeur too. And Vegas certainly is in need of a quarterback.
Yeah, no doubt.
If I'm a Raiders fan, and I know we've got a few that listen to this show, I'm pleading Dallas to offer him the better contract. I'm pleading him to go return to his alma mater, so to speak, in the Dallas Cowboys, where he had arguably the most success, other than maybe when he first came out in Atlanta. I'm pleading for him to go back to the Cowboys because I'm looking towards the future and actually want to see a rebuild and a program that can be sustainable. I don't think Dion provides that. I think he's a flash in the pan. And like you said, 2 years, the experiment's over, but in 2 years, you're laughing all the way to the bank. Either way, Vegas or Dallas, if the experiment doesn't work like most football fans don't think it will, the aftermath will be a truck ton of money that gets dumped into these NFL owners because of the Prime experiment.
All right, so Vrabel is on now at New England. There's still coaching vacancies in Chicago and the New Orleans Saints. The Jets still looking for a head coach. I know we got some Jet fans. So do we get down to a coordinator now? I think Pete Carroll is still out there.
Yeah.
Pete Carroll is.
They keep tossing Ron Rivera.
Yeah.
Out there, and he's interviewing. Here's the thing:
these coaches just kind of recycle, don't they?
They do, and they're not good. We have such quick memory of how bad the Commanders were. The Commanders just won their first playoff game, and you can take a look and you can say Jaden Daniels this, Jaden Daniels that. They made a coaching change when Ron Rivera couldn't get them over the hump and even into the playoffs. They make a coaching change, and voila. Washington's in and advanced in the playoff game. Ron Rivera is a horrible coach. He's not good. And yet his name recycles year after year after year for these coaching vacancies. We have such quick memories. They're like, well, he's got some coaching experience. Coaching experience. Go after some coordinator that's doing some fun stuff in the MAC or the Sun Belt. Get some new, fresh blood into the NFL. I'm sick and tired of watching the same old coaches year after year do the same old crappy job year after year and getting fired year after year, and the program's just going through this vicious cycle of wash, rinse, repeat. That is the NFL. It's not good.
Yeah,
Buffalo
5
makes
years.
A change.
5 years.
Yeah.
They'll be fired.
Buffalo makes a change. They go get Sean McDonough, and then not Sean McDonough, McDermott. Sean McVay goes over to L.A. These were young, excitable coaches at the time that had done some really good jobs, that have been good fits for their teams. Other teams should take notes. There's a reason that you see these teams that are successful in the playoffs.
Well, a couple of teams are going after the Chiefs' defensive coordinator, Spags. But Spags is he's another guy who has been a head coach. He was at the Giants, wasn't he?
He was at the Rams and then the Giants.
And then he's been the coordinator for the Chiefs. And now I think the Raiders have asked permission to talk with him. And somebody else was asking for permission to talk with Spags. Hey, he's another one. He's another coordinator that I think I'll just stay his butt there in Kansas City.
Yeah. You remember Mike Martz? Great offensive mastermind. Mike Martz is a great offensive mastermind. He's a horrible head coach. Spags is a great defensive coordinator.
Horrible head coach. It's been proven.
Yeah.
So why all of a sudden is his name surfacing as a head coach? Just because he has a good defense, and I wouldn't even call it a good defense at Kansas City.
Yeah, I'm with you.
It's marginal this year.
It's suspect.
It's suspect this year. Just because the Chiefs are having all the success.
Sure.
But his name has popped up a couple of times.
I guess you hope that he took like a page or two from Andy Reid, picked the brain maybe a little bit, and you're hoping to just get like a little residual piece of Andy Reid's brain coming through. I don't know.
You know another guy, since we're on the Chiefs?
Yeah.
Eric Bieniemy.
Okay, what happened there?
Well, remember, he was with the Chiefs all those years, and they thought he was going to be the next head coach of the Chiefs, so we were grooming him.
Yep.
And then he bolts, and he goes, where did he go with the NFL? Washington? Yeah, he went to Washington as the offensive coordinator there.
Okay.
And then he got fired after 1 year. He ended up at UCLA.
Got fired after 1 year.
Got fired after 1 year after Nebraska played UCLA. So now
they won the game.
Yeah. So now he is out there, but he must be the worst interview ever.
Oh yeah, no, without we
You and I talked about that, and he must be the worst interview ever because he's interviewed for head coaching jobs in the NFL a dozen times.
Yep.
A dozen times, and he's never really a finalist anywhere.
There's got to be something lingering.
Well, he must not come across good.
Either come across good, or there's a skeleton in the closet
Yep.
that would unsurface if he became a NFL head coach
That we don't know about.
And he doesn't want to know about. So he doesn't complain a whole lot.
No.
We never hear him griping about his not being a head coach somewhere. So yeah, Bieniemy's in that mix.
That's another name that pops up all the time.
Yeah.
Pete Carroll, now that he is out, he's popped up at several locations.
Wants to get out of retirement.
Maybe he don't like staying home either.
Just retire.
Look at Belichick.
Yeah.
He came out of retirement after a couple of years.
Well, he's got that
Flus.
young girl he needs to continue to impress.
We got into this once before.
She's too young.
Well, they're not married.
It doesn't matter. It disgusts me. He takes one out of my market.
You're not gonna ever have any chance for her.
I don't know.
God.
It's online dating world, man. It's a brand new thing.
Let's see. Do I hang out with Bill Belichick, who's now the coach at North Carolina?
North Carolina.
Or I got this guy out in Nebraska that works for Extreme Sports, which is a high roller job. I can see where she might take a look at you.
At least I can run the bases.
We're not going to get into that again. I had several people tell me yesterday that they want money on that.
They want to book it?
Yeah, they want to book it that we couldn't get to second base.
Tell them to put. I want to know what my odds are first, and then I might make a wager.
We couldn't get to second base. I mean, we have to sprint it. We can't jog it.
Full on sprint.
Yeah, we got to get to second base like we just hit a double.
Without our body going out.
Oh yeah.
Knees popping.
Oh my hamstring would be torn apart.
Shreds.
After I round first base, I probably trip over first base.
Shreds.
If I trip over first base, skin up my nose, and I pull up at second base, and I need medical care.
Medics.
I need medical care to fix my face from falling down after first base. We've got a lot of baseball people that listen to this show. Maybe they could help us out. Little E, could he help us out?
Oh, he can round the bases with the best of them. He still plays men's league, I think.
You haven't played softball, have you, for a while?
No, I'm retired.
That's probably a good thing.
More tired than retired. If we're being brutally honest.
You're listening to Huddle Up here today on Extreme Sports. Mike and Tyson, if you'd like to join us, you can. Just leave us a message on Facebook Live or Twitch or Twitter, wherever you're watching us today. Leave us a message. If you're one of the fans that we were talking about, the teams, the Raiders, the Cowboys, the Jets, the Saints, the Bears, who would you like to be as your next head coach? Chime us in. Better yet, give us a call. 402-834-1330 is our telephone number. 402-834-1330. Whether you're watching us on the website, x-streamsports.com, maybe on your smartphone on your way to work or school this morning with our free mobile app, maybe on your smart speaker that Santa brought you for Christmas, Roku TV, Facebook Live, YouTube, Twitch, we're everywhere you are. So thanks for joining us on this Tuesday morning, already 7:26 on Extreme Sports.
It's time for a morning news update on Extreme Sports.
Local news this hour is brought to you in part by the Hastings Federal Credit Union, where since 1946, Hastings Federal Credit Union has been a part of the Hastings community, and its community that is at the heart of everything they do. As a nonprofit financial cooperative, the credit union is owned by the members who join, and joining, well, it's as simple as opening a primary savings account. You can get from point A to point B and everywhere in between with a low-rate vehicle loan. Whether you're committed to camping or love living the lake life, you can also count on the credit union to finance your next big toy. They even do personal loans for life's little curveballs. So with the affordable low rates, the convenient repayment options, and a friendly local staff that treats you like family, see for yourself what the credit union difference is all about. That's Hastings Federal Credit Union, 707 North Marion Road, or online at hastingsfcu.org. Hastings Federal Credit Union is an equal housing lender. We will start off this morning at the state capitol, where yesterday Governor Jim Pillen joined Attorney General Mike Hilgers to speak on 4 bills which they say will protect children from online abuse and the addictive nature of phone apps and online services. Several with this subject today. One of the bills would require each public school board to adopt policies to restrict the use of phones in schools before the start of the next academic year. The bill includes some exceptions and accommodations to the policy, such as medical needs, emergency situations, educational purposes, or if the child has an individualized educational plan. Additionally, the Age-Appropriate Online Design Code Act would prohibit online services from using targeted advertising to an individual the service knows is a minor, such as alcohol ads, tobacco ads, or gambling. Governor Pillen said at the press conference, quote, Attorney General Hilgers and I wanted to partner together as we both have good ideas on how we can best protect kids in Nebraska. These bills will address the addictive nature of social media, prohibit the generation of AI pornography, restrict the use of phones and electronic devices in schools, and require parental consent for minors to set up social media accounts. End quote. The series of bills all plan on being introduced this week. Meanwhile, the Nebraska State Education Association wants state lawmakers to make major movements this legislative session to tackle teacher shortages. Nebraska schools reported nearly 670 unfilled teaching positions at the start of the 2024-2025 school year. Over 900 positions went unfilled in the previous school year. In addition to the teacher shortage, the teachers union also wants to see changes to the school funding formula, asking the legislature to form a 2-year committee to give the state time to explore the challenges with TIOSA. The Nebraska legislature is in session until June 9th, and we go back to the courts and back to social media, where Lancaster County has denied TikTok's motion to dismiss a case ruling in favor of the state of Nebraska that Lancaster County does have jurisdiction over TikTok, and the case can proceed. State Attorney General Mike Hilgers spoke on the lawsuit, saying, quote, "We have filed this lawsuit to hold TikTok accountable for deceiving Nebraska parents and children and for harm that TikTok's deception has caused," end quote. He goes on to say, "We are grateful to the court for allowing this lawsuit to proceed so that our office can continue to fight for Nebraskans and protect them from exploitive companies that would do them harm," end quote. Unless TikTok seeks to appeal the order, the lawsuit will proceed in the district court of Lancaster County. Coming up on 7:30, let's swing things back to the East Side Studios. Mike, what's happening in sports?
Well, Auburn is ranked number 1 in the AP Men's College Basketball poll this week. The Tigers are 15-1 on the season. Iowa State is second, followed by Duke, Alabama, and Florida. Running out the top 10 are Tennessee, Marquette, Kentucky, Kansas, and Houston. UCLA continues to lead the women's poll. South Carolina is second, followed by Notre Dame, USC, and LSU. Nebraska will open the 2025 campaign as the number 24 ranked team. According to D1 Baseball, the Huskers are coming off of a Big Ten tournament title and their 6th NCAA regional appearance since 2014 after going 40-22, 16-8 in the conference in 2024. Nebraska is one of 2 Big Ten teams in the top 25, with Oregon sitting at number 12. Texas A&M is in the top spot, followed by Virginia and LSU. Nebraska will open the season on February the 14th against UC Irvine in Scottsdale, Arizona. The Nebraska softball team is ranked number 21 in Softball America's preseason poll. The Huskers are one of 5 teams from the Big Ten Conference that are included in the preseason poll. UCLA is number 5. Northwestern number 18, Michigan number 23, and Penn State number 25. Florida is ranked number 1, followed by Texas and Oklahoma. Nebraska will open the season on February the 6th against Tennessee in Clearwater, Florida. Hastings College basketball teams will play host to Doane tomorrow at Lynn Farrell Arena. Women's game will be at 6. The men to follow at 7:45. We'll have the action here on Extreme Sports, beginning with a pregame show at 5:45 tomorrow afternoon. High school basketball tonight. Hastings High will play at Aurora. The Tiger girls are 4-8 on the season. The boys are 7-5. Girls game at 5:30 tonight, with the boys to follow at 7. We'll have the action here on Extreme Sports, beginning with a pregame at 5:15 this afternoon. In other action, the Adams Central boys and girls will play at Holdridge tonight. The St. Cecilia boys and girls will play host to Northwest. That's a check on your sports headlines. 7:32 now on Extreme Sports.
Here's a look at your weather forecast, powered by weatherology.com. 25 today, under cloudy skies, winds out of the east, 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tonight, 14. High of 42 tomorrow, clear skies. Upper 40s Thursday, cooler on Friday with highs in the mid-40s. And that's your forecast. I'm meteorologist Paul Frobley. Currently, it's 19 degrees.
And we've got north winds at 7 miles per hour this morning as you wake up, get going. You're listening to Mike and Tyson here today on Huddle Up from Extreme Sports.
Accessible and affordable holistic care is just around the corner at Bamboo Spa and Wellness Center. Located at 208 South Burlington Avenue, Suite 101 in Hastings. At Bamboo Spa, we offer a range of therapies to help you unwind and recharge. Experience soothing massages, rejuvenating head spa scalp treatments, and our Advanced Glow 2 facials. Discover the healing power of ozone therapy and frequency healing. Become a member for exclusive 24-hour access to our therapeutic amenities, including the infrared sauna, hydro massage, and cryo lounge. Members enjoy 20% off all services and 10% off products in our non-toxic retail shop. Visit our Facebook page to learn more and book your appointment today. Bamboo Spa and Wellness Center, truly holistic care, designed for you.
I'm John Butler, funeral director and owner at Livingston Butler Volland Funeral Home and Cremation Center in Hastings.
And I'm Nikki Butler, the advanced funeral planning specialist. Whether you choose a traditional service, cremation, or a unique memorial service, our experienced staff is here to help guide you through every step. Visit us at lbvfh.com to learn more about our services and how we can support you.
Livingston Butler Volland Funeral Home and Cremation Center. We are here when your need is greatest.
Hamilton has been providing IT solutions for businesses across the state of Nebraska for more than 3 decades. We know that Nebraska businesses are a driving force of support for the communities in which we live and work. We keep them connected and protected by delivering cybersecurity, hosted phones, and managed IT. We are grateful to be part of our Nebraska communities and to support their technology needs.
More information at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
Extreme Sports has been bringing you the exclusive home of Hastings College Athletics, and we're just getting started. Thanks to our incredible sponsors and your support, Extreme Sports 2 has been a huge success. And now we're excited to announce the launch of Extreme Sports 3. With Extreme Sports 3, you'll get even more local sports coverage. Plus, 24/7 access to Sports by Line, where you'll hear the best in national sports talk. Whether it's Hastings College, high school action, or the latest from around the sports world, we've got it covered across all 3 streams. And don't forget, when we're not broadcasting games, join us weekday mornings from 7 to 8 a.m. for Huddle Up with Mike Will and Tyson Havronik. It's the perfect way to start your day with sports, news, weather, and great local interviews. So tune in, check out all 3 streams, and stay with us for even more sports coverage coming soon. Thank you to our sponsors for making it all possible, and to you, our listeners, for keeping Extreme Sports strong.
All right, Mike Will, Tyson Havronik, again on this Tuesday, the 14th day of January, as we get you up, get you going. 7:36 is the time. Somebody chimed in that the Rams won last night because you don't face a team that's facing adversity and tragedy.
Yeah, listen.
That's I forgot about it. I didn't really forget about it, but
Right.
I was thinking the other way. That the Rams had so much on their minds with getting out of Los Angeles because of the fires and getting their family together and their dogs and their cats and getting on the plane and playing in a different environment other than their home stadium. I was thinking the other way, that they had too much on their mind.
I love the IT guy, man. I love him to death, but get real. First, I've heard this argument before. And I heard the argument, and it was after New Orleans had won the Super Bowl, and they used the exact same examples as we just used in the Facebook comment. If you honestly think that you go in and the NFL is going to take a tragedy and try to capitalize on it and make a feel good story out of it, I think you're out of your mind, and I think that locker rooms would pipe up. If you had Minnesota that came in there and Roger Goodell or whoever gets sent in to say, "Hey, throw this game," so
I don't think
feel good story. You don't do it.
No, I don't think it's to that level.
Right.
But I think the players from the Rams has had really something more
to
play for,
Okay,
and
okay.
they put. I'm not saying that the game was fixed or swung in any way.
I've heard people that will say rigged because of it, and I'm like, no. If this was rigged, we would have heard a long time ago. If this thing was rigged, and we hear it all the time, especially after stuff like that, you get a little bit more in your heart, right? You get a little bit more desire, you get a little bit more oomph to get up and play for something a little bit bigger than yourself.
That's what I'm saying.
Bigger than your team. I'm with you on that front. And I was going to reverse course and hit there, but I just off the context of the thing, I read it like, oh, here we go with another NFL conspiracy. And anytime I hear NFL conspiracies, I just shake my head and laugh.
They think there's a big conspiracy with Kansas City.
Oh yeah, and the referees. You pay the referees before every game.
Yeah, I'm so sick of hearing that every damn game.
Yep, and then IT guys chimed in, and he's reversing coursing, not saying rigged. So not saying rigged.
I think he's kind of what I was just talking about. Yep. I think they had more to play for, and I was thinking the other way, that they had so much on their minds that that's why I was with you last night, and I took Minnesota.
Yep, but yeah, I'm totally for the argument that they had. LA came with something to play for, with a community to play for, and put one on their back.
Now,
last night?
Now, what do you think they're going to do this weekend? Now they got another week to deal with it.
Yep.
Now they're going to go on the road. They're going to play in Philadelphia. Do they fall flat now?
It's far from over, but I don't know.
They're still dealing with the stuff at home.
Philadelphia offensively looked flat against Green Bay. I think you can start to take a look at the matchups now, right? Offensively, Philadelphia.
They didn't impress me. Their defense did.
Barkley run at the end until he slid down. But the defense, damn, they looked good.
Yeah, the defense looked good. The offense didn't look. Yeah, I wouldn't be afraid of the offense.
Mm-hmm.
I think the Rams might be able to play with them.
They can hang.
Yeah, they can hang with them.
They can hang.
Anyway, we got all week to talk about the NFL matchups.
Yeah. No, I'm with. I've been in. Shane has since reverse course and did not. I originally read it because it's Facebook comments, right?
Yeah.
And like you read them in a certain tone, and I was hearing a certain tone that wasn't there. He's explained himself, and he's with. He's
with us.
Yeah. It's a little bit better now than when I originally read it.
Yeah, don't jump off the wagon.
Don't jump to conclusions.
No, don't jump to conclusions. Read me through. Read me through.
To conclusions.
High school basketball tonight. I think an interesting matchup. Hastings and Aurora tonight. The Hastings High girls under Lance Creech. Much improved. They are 4-8 now in the season. Aurora is at 5-5. The boys matchup. Aurora is 8-2, and Hastings High 7-5. Tigers coming off of their big win over Adams Central last week, 49-48. Then they won against Lexington on Saturday, 58-37. That was as I was diving into the Huskies. They are 8-2 on the season. Their only losses this year to Wahoo. They lost by 2 points, 41-39, and then they lost to Ashland Greenwood in the championship ball game of the Ashland Greenwood Holiday Tournament. Lost by 4 to Ashland Greenwood. They've won 2 games since that loss to St. Paul and to Schuyler. Of course, the Huskies, coached by former St. Cecilia head man Kevin Asher.
Coach Asher, yeah.
Looking forward to going to Aurora and meeting up with those guys tonight. But a good matchup, I think. 8-2 Aurora, 7-5 Hastings. That in the boys' game, and I think the girls' game will be very competitive as well. 5-5 Aurora against 4-8 Hastings. We'll have the action tonight on the Extreme Sports beginning at 5:15 for the pregame show. So all 3 schools from Hastings going to be in action tonight. As we mentioned, Adams Central on the road playing at Holdridge, and St. Cecilia will host Northwest. So
good night of hoops, and no slouches on the 2 losses for Aurora either. When you take a look at that strength of schedule, anytime you throw Wahoo into the mix, you know you're going to get a hell of a battle, and so they took it right down to the wire with Wahoo and Ashland Greenwood as well. So yeah, no slouches there. Now you get some size and some different matchup as you take in the Hastings High Tigers. Be interesting to see how that one pans out. Was really impressed with the boys game the other night with Hastings High and Adams Central, and I thought I saw a lot of good things from both schools on the Hastings side of things. So be interested to see how the Tigers tangle with the Huskies and Coach Asher.
We'll be on the air pregame at about 5:15 this afternoon. So that's coming up for you. Let's see what else is going on. We talked about the coaches with Mike McCarthy and Dion. I bet we're going to hear some more stuff today. I just got a funny feeling we're going to hear some more stuff. Jerry Jones says he hasn't really had the formal interview yet with Dion. They're just talking. They're just talking.
And money talks.
So does that mean today he names him the head coach?
I would be shocked if Dallas doesn't win the Dion lottery. I would be shocked.
I hope he goes there.
And I think Colorado has to brace for impact. Colorado has to brace for irrelevance, which is from this Husker fan base perspective, beautiful.
Well, what's going to happen now in Colorado? If Dion takes this job.
The Mountain West is calling.
The Sanders boys are out of Colorado. Dion is out.
Rendered irrelevant.
Colorado start tanking again? I bet they do.
Oh, that's a big. Nobody will want to go there for like 2 years.
Well, who's going to want to coach there after this wreck?
What's left? You know, all these players were brought in to be kind of flashes in the pan and provide a big spark and
get to the NFL.
That transfer portal, holy crap. like all them kids are going to hit the portal.
We'll see what happens there.
Ain't one Colorado athlete that wants to stick around and play for whoever comes in next.
No,
That could
not
be a
not the
disaster.
people that Dion brought into Colorado. They're not going to stick around and play for the next guy.
You're going to have to bring in a whole another class of recruits. Like, you might have to wait a year to play football. You're not going to have enough kids.
Well, yeah, it's too late now
And now it's too late.
because the portal's closed.
So way
You
to go,
can-
Dion, for not like letting your kids know.
But you can pluck kids from the portal. But like you said, who's going to want to play at Colorado?
They're going to be in trouble.
But there's going to be a lot more kids drop into the portal.
And I would feel bad for him, except for the fact that it's Colorado and I can't stand him. So I'm actually grinning,
Remember when
eager anticipation.
when the job was open at Nebraska, and it was being floated around to get Deion Sanders to coach at Nebraska.
Are you bringing receipts? Because I think I was on the Dion train.
Were you?
I was on the Dion train because I wanted the Dion effect. I wanted exactly what happened at Colorado. I wanted the spotlight.
Could you imagine that?
Not anymore.
How would that go over in Lincoln?
It would have gone over the exact same way. I think.
As Colorado?
I don't think we would have had. Man, I don't know.
But he'd be gone just like this, 2 years.
They're
He's
very
out of here.
similar, and
Yeah.
we all knew that was going to happen, but we
Yeah.
knew the 2-year effect. We would have had a chance to turn around a program, and flip and bring guys in. Now
We're
that
doing
I
it.
Now that I saw it in action, and I saw Rule do the same thing, and actually obliterate Colorado when they played, I'm totally cool with how it's panned out, and I think we're going to be better because of it. Obviously,
Yeah, we're bringing in a lot of guys here. We're still not down anywhere close to 105.
right.
So that's kind of been kind of bubbling behind the headlines a little bit. Nebraska continues to bring in players.
Yeah,
But remember, for every player we bring in,
we got to cut somebody.
we got to cut somebody.
But here's the thing: is I think you're seeing an entire locker room that wants to compete, for that position.
Oh, I think we're going to be much, much better.
Oh, I do too.
I think we'll be much
I
better
think we're
next year.
competitive because if you had guys that didn't want to compete for that position and just wanted to go gain playing time somewhere else, they'd have hit the portal by now, right? But you've got guys that stuck around because they want to play for Nebraska. They want to compete for that position, and so we're going to have a lot of late cuts, which is great. Spring ball is going to be more competitive. Practices are going to be more
Well, I
competitive.
think after
the
spring
energy
ball,
and the intensity just ramps up. Yeah.
after spring ball, I know somebody that is at Nebraska down the depth charts.
Sure.
And I was anticipating him hitting the portal, but they asked him to stay at least through spring football practice to see kind of where we were all at before he makes his final decision. So,
Okay.
so I think you'll see a lot of players go through spring football practice at Nebraska, and then you're going to see a mass exit because we got to get down to 105.
I think
So-
the spring game, I think, is going to determine a lot of pieces.
Oh, yeah.
Spring
game might have some juice to it this year. Mm-hmm. Might have some juice to it. Anyway, that's all coming up. That's all coming up.
Today, by the way, get to some special days today.
Oh, yeah, the 14th day of January is always a big day in my books.
It is, because it's a historical reference. Today we finally, 8 years after the Declaration of Independence was signed on July 4th, 8 years later, a ceasefire finally happens between the U.S. and Brits. It's known as the Ratification Day today. A little historical nugget that a lot of people think July 4th was when we gained our independence and the British set sail back to Britain and never looked back. No, it took 8 years for that to finally come to a conclusion on this day, on the January 14th.
I was not good. I was not good in school in American history and dates and everything, and how everything kind of worked together. I was not good at that.
Well, so you didn't have Tesmer. Tesmer was my American history teacher.
Really? Coach Tesmer was?
Oh, Coach T. And he always had these little quippets and little sayings, and we know that it was maize and not corn back on the original Thanksgiving. Anyways, Coach T was great, and he was our American history teacher. So I owe all of my credit to these days for him. But yeah, Ratification Day today. It's also Dress Your Dog Day today. Does Raja wear clothes?
Absolutely not.
Good. good.
I couldn't see her.
I think it looks stupid. I'm not a fan of the dressing of the dogs.
No, Raja would not put on. No. However, IT guy, his dog dresses up.
He wears Chiefs jerseys, doesn't he?
Chiefs jerseys about every Chiefs game. So the IT guy has a dog that that dresses up, and I think there's a lot of people. There's a lot of people that might
there's a lot of people
dress dogs up.
I was taking some photographs for a family portrait here in town, and they had 3 dogs, and they were the photo shoot was delayed because they were trying to dress the dogs up into Christmas sweaters.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, it was great. But dress your dog day today. Not a day that I would participate in. I would never dress my dogs.
Well, you don't have a dog, number one.
I know. It's a whole pet thing with the renting of places.
Oh, yeah.
No dogs. And it's also, I'm going to have for lunch today, probably stop at Big Dally's Deli and grab me a pastrami Reuben. It is pastrami sandwich day today.
Pastrami?
Yeah. It's like roast beef, only with a little bit more kick. You've had it?
I'm sure I have.
Yeah.
But I would not order it.
Really?
I don't know if I went into a deli sandwich shop like
pastrami
that.
Reuben? It's delicious, man.
So it's pastrami Reuben day today.
Pastrami? Well, it's just pastrami sandwich.
Okay.
I particularly get the pastrami Reuben at Big Dally's Deli.
So you throw the Reuben in.
Yep.
With your pastrami. Okay, those are some very interesting days. Very exciting.
Yeah, very, very good stuff today.
Very exciting.
We got a history lesson. We talked about dressing poodles and sandwiches.
402-834-1330 is our telephone number. If you'd like to join in on the discussion, some very interesting stuff here today. 402-834-1330 if you'd like to join us. Or you can leave us a message on the Facebook Live or Twitch or Twitter or wherever you're watching us here today. And a reminder, like our Facebook page because that's the page you're going to all get the latest information on everything that's going on with Extreme Sports, the broadcast schedule, anything that happens during the day that you need to know. That's the late breaking news you can get on our Facebook page. So like our page when you have a chance, and you'll stay in the know here at Extreme Sports. 752.
Even better, if you like and you follow along on the Facebook page and you hit the follow button and you join in enough times, eventually you get to the point where when we go live, you get a notification right to your phone. We're live either for a sporting event or for Huddle Up each and every morning at 7 a.m. So go ahead and hit that like, hit that follow button. If you're on YouTube, subscribe to the YouTube channel because it'll go live and get you notifications as well. Every time we're live, you'll know about it if you like and subscribe.
Plus,
it makes our IT guy happy.
Yeah, plus it still blows up, doesn't it?
Little fizzle.
Yeah. I think our logo blows up and everything. So
yeah,
it really makes the IT guy's day. Mm-hmm. He's on the road today, though. So
he's on the road west.
All right,
Western road trip. I would not be joining him.
7:53 now on Extreme Sports.
It's time for a morning news update on Extreme Sports.
Local news this hour brought to you by the Hastings Federal Credit Union, where they've been lighting the way to financial success since 1946. Hastings Federal Credit Union is proud to be your trusted long-term financial partner, where you can access your accounts wherever you go with mobile banking, bringing you financial peace of mind right from the palm of your hand, where you can securely and conveniently manage your accounts and loans at any time from anywhere. You can transfer funds, deposit checks, pay bills with Bill Pay, and quickly access your account balances to help you cover whatever little curveballs life throws your way with mobile banking today. One of the many ways you can experience the credit union difference, that's Hastings Federal Credit Union, 707 North Marion Road, or online hastingsfcu.org. Hastings Federal Credit Union is an equal housing lender. Couple stories to talk about this morning. We start first at the state capitol, where Governor Jim Pillen joined Attorney General Mike Hilgers to speak on 4 bills which they say will protect children from online abuse and the addictive nature of phone apps and online services. One of the bills would require each public school to adopt policies to restrict the use of phones in schools before the start of the next academic year. The bill includes some exceptions and accommodations to the policy, such as medical needs, emergency situations, educational purposes, or if the child has an individualized educational plan. Additionally, the Age-Appropriate Online Design Code Act would prohibit online services from using targeted advertising to an individual the service knows is a minor, such as alcohol, tobacco, or gambling. The bills will address the, quote, addictive nature of social media, prohibit the generation of AI pornography, restrict the use of phones and electronic devices in schools, and require parental consent for minors to set up social media accounts. These series of bills all plan on being introduced this week. Staying on that topic, in the courts, a Lancaster County judge has denied TikTok's motion to dismiss a case ruling in favor of the state of Nebraska that Lancaster County does have jurisdiction over TikTok and the case can proceed. State Attorney General Mike Hilger spoke on the lawsuit, saying, quote, "We have filed this lawsuit to hold TikTok accountable for deceiving Nebraska parents and children and for the harm TikTok's deception has caused. We are grateful to the court for allowing this lawsuit to proceed so that our office can continue to fight for Nebraskans and protect them from exploitive companies that would do them harm." I don't know why that's such a hard word this morning. Any hoodles. Unless TikTok seeks to appeal the order, the lawsuit will proceed in the district court of Lancaster County. Coming up on 7:57, we'll quickly swing things over to the East Side Studios. Mike, what's happening in sports?
Auburn is ranked number 1 in the latest AP Men's College Basketball poll. The Tigers 15-1 on the season. Iowa State second, followed by Duke, Alabama, and Florida. Rounding out the top 10 are Tennessee, Marquette, Kentucky, Kansas, and Houston. UCLA continues to lead the women's poll. South Carolina is second, followed by Notre Dame, USC, and LSU. Nebraska will open the 2025 campaign as the number 24 ranked team, according to D1 Baseball. Texas A&M is on top, followed by Virginia and LSU. The Nebraska's softball team ranked number 21 in Softball America's preseason poll. UCLA is number 5 in the conference. Northwestern number 18, Michigan 23, Penn State 25. So 4 other conference teams are included in the nation's top 25 for softball. Florida is ranked number 1 in the poll, followed by Texas and Oklahoma. In high school basketball tonight here on Extreme Sports, Hastings High and Aurora beginning at 5:15 tonight. NFL playoffs from last night. The Rams over the Vikings by the score of 27-9. Let's check in your sports headlines at 7:57.
Here's a look at your weather forecast, powered by weatherology.com. 25 today, under cloudy skies, winds out of the east, 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tonight, 14. High of 42 tomorrow. Clear skies. Upper 40s Thursday. Here's a look at your weather Friday with highs in the mid-40s. And that's your forecast. 25 today, under cloudy skies, winds out of the east, it's 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tonight, 14. High of 42 tomorrow. Clear skies. Upper 40s Thursday. Cooler on Friday with highs in the mid-40s. And that's your forecast. I'm meteorologist Paul Frobley. Currently, it's 19 degrees.
And we've got winds out of the north at 17 this morning at 7:58.
Connet Auto Care is the trusted name in automotive repair and maintenance services in Hastings. We're a gold-certified Napa Auto Care Center. Our ASE-certified technicians have the Blue Seal of Excellence, receive continuous training, and are committed to providing the best service your vehicle can get. Whether it's preventative maintenance, major repairs, or just an oil change, Connet Auto Care is here for you.
Accessible and affordable holistic care is just around the corner at Bamboo Spa and Wellness Center. Located at 208 South Burlington Avenue, Suite 101 in Hastings. At Bamboo Spa, we offer a range of therapies to help you unwind and recharge. Experience soothing massages, rejuvenating head spa scalp treatments, and our Advanced Glow 2 facials. Discover the healing power of ozone therapy and frequency healing. Become a member for exclusive 24-hour access to our therapeutic amenities, including the infrared sauna, hydro massage, and cryo lounge. Members enjoy 20% off all services and 10% off products in our non-toxic retail shop. Visit our Facebook page to learn more and book your appointment today. Bamboo Spa and Wellness Center, truly holistic care designed for you.
All right, Mike Will, Tyson O'Bronick with you on Extreme Sports. Huddle up here for this Tuesday. So, again, we'll have basketball tonight, Hastings High and Aurora, beginning at 5:15 from the Aurora Sports Complex. Girls, boys basketball doubleheader for us on the air tonight here on Extreme Sports. Tuesday, that means probably a bunch of college basketball on the air TV-wise, huh?
A bunch of college basketball and TV-wise. Also, something to circle for your TV guide. I just saw this nugget come across as I was surfing social media. February 3rd, 7 o'clock. I have been exhausted from the singing shows, American Idol, Voice. I haven't seen one. I haven't made one appointment watching in a long time just because they're exhausting at this point. However, that said, a local artist from AM/FM Lincoln, you might have heard them at Here Grand Island. Their lead singer, Jaden, has auditioned for and will be a part of the upcoming season. Again, that season premiering on February 3rd at 7 o'clock. So AM/FM Lincoln's lead singer, Jaden, will have a Nebraska following on The Voice.
Well, that's kind of new. We've had that in the past.
Yeah. Like
We've
hearing
had
that
in the
kind of
past.
stuff.
So he's gonna be on?
Yep, she's going to be on, yep.
Oh, she is?
Yep, lead female singer.
Obviously, I don't know anything about the group.
Yeah, they're cool. They play like classic rock. They play a little mix.
Oh, yeah.
So classic rock, modern rock. They were good. I saw them at Here Grand Island, and big things for her. So.
All right, looking forward to that.
There you go. Wanted to pass that on before we wrapped up shop here on.
So you're going to actually watch the thing? You will. You will.
Yeah, probably. Just
you got to give up a sports night to watch what is on The Voice, or?
Yeah, on The Voice. I may or may not give up a sports night. Sports night tonight, though. A bunch of hockey, Flames and Blues, 7 o'clock if you're interested in watching my St. Louis Blues. Also, Avalanche and Rangers. They are the 8 p.m. face-off. A bunch of day games in the Premier League, and then we've got college hoops. We've got Texas A&M, Kentucky, big battle in the SEC. Bama and Ole Miss also taking part. Mississippi State and number 1 ranked Auburn play tonight. And you got my Duke Blue Devils taking on the, awful, 4-12 Miami Hurricanes. What has happened to Miami basketball? They are brutal this year. And Missouri and Florida also taking part. So plenty of hoops, plenty of top 25 battles taking part in the SEC.
All right, we'll get together again tomorrow. If you'd like to listen to the show again, you can. Just go to our social media sites, get the podcast of the show, Roku TV. I know you can get a link there. Just download today's show. You can listen to it as many times as you want. A lot of valuable information on this show today. So
if you want history.
If you want to listen to it more than once, make sure you get everything that we had on the show today. You're welcome to do that. And we'll catch you again tomorrow morning at 7 o'clock here on Extreme Sports. Thanks for joining us.
You've been listening to Huddle Up on Extreme Sports, Central Nebraska's new home for sports. Join us every weekday morning from 7 until 8 on Extreme